Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's 8:36 coming to you live from the Salam Media Studios. Alhamdulillah, we are now looking at the intensive Dawah workshop which is taking place this weekend, and this is presented by the Guardian Dawah Institute and in the leadership of Moulana Uwais Dockrat, a very good friend of mine and a very astute fighter in the program or the field of Dawah. There are a lot we can learn from him, inshallah ta'ala. Moulana Uwais, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to the show.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair for having us, Sheikh Yunus.
No, barakallah fikum. Jazakallah to you, because I know it's a very tight schedule that you have, seeing that tomorrow will be the commencement of the workshop. So, inshallah, I would like to start it with, someone actually posed this question to me a couple of weeks back when I was sharing the poster, etc. And they said, we've been busy with a lot of dawah training. Why should we attend this one? So inshallah, I think this is the right time that I can actually bring the question to you, Moulana, and inshallah help us understand what is the intensive dawah workshop about. But I think before we go there, inshallah, I want us to touch a bit into the Guardian Dawah Institute, inshallah, as for many people, they might see it as a new name, or maybe it might feel that it's a new organization. If Moulana can just take us into the background of the Guardian Dawah Institute, inshallah, and the main works that you're busy with, inshallah.
Okay, perfect. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, the Guardian Dawah Institute is actually part of a larger organization, the Global Muslim Baytul Mal. And the objective of the Guardian Dawah Institute, like our other Dawah institutes, is obviously to share the message of Islam with confidence, wisdom, and compassion. The idea behind the entire organization is to move from just invitation to transformation. So our idea is to have a holistic dawah package that we're offering, either the individual or organizations and people in terms of support. The idea is that we need to show, humanity and the people of South Africa and the people of the world at large that in reality Islam is the solution to all the problems that they might have. And that's the idea behind the Guardian Dawah Institute. Obviously, we have different, different areas that we work in. So the one is, outreach and awareness. So the different outreach programs where we set up our dawah stands in different areas, different localities, in universities, out of the streets, etc. Then a very strong component is our new Muslim support and care. So revert classes, assisting people that have revert classes, training people on how to do revert classes in an effective way. Then thirdly, our resources, educational resources, our literature, producing literature, but producing literature, not just what is already found out there, but where there's a gap in the market. So there's, like, for example, just two projects that we're busy with IPCI that might be of interest to the listeners. The one is a booklet that we've prepared on Islam and the African traditions, and what's the similarities, what's the differences, and where does Islam differ, and is Islam similar to the African traditions, and it's a call to dawah. We also got a similar booklet that we're preparing on Islam, the solution to all the problems that South Africa faces. So these are exploring new ideas that are not out there yet in terms of our educational resources as well. We're preparing pamphlets, and generally what we find out with the pamphlets, generally our pamphlets don't really give dawah. They're just information about the basics of Islam. But on its own, if a person reads it, it's not really inviting him to anything. So we've taken a bit of a different approach in developing, our pamphlets in a way that it's actually trying to prove something. It's actually trying to address the listener and show him something. Then another component of our institution is obviously the training of dua, training of imams, showing them how to set up a center, how to conduct your reverse classes. It's not going to, it will be as practical as possible, getting the imams, giving them time to sit, to think, giving the da'is time to sit and think, what's the important components, what they can do, what they should do, etc. So that's basically who we are in a nutshell. Hopefully that's sufficient for today.
No, alhamdulillah. So it's quite a very vast setup that you have there. And alhamdulillah, I see that there's a lot of components which you are covering, a lot of points which previously, if I can say, many other organizations were not really focusing on. Like you said, it's moving from the preaching side to actually more of a developmental stage, whereby you're now prepping and equipping the people who are working in the dawah field to be able to give dawah, as opposed to people to actually wait for you to come and give dawah there, then you leave, then there's nothing happening for a while until you come again once after a few years, etc. So I believe that that's actually a very good mechanism to use in this modern culture that we're living in. Unfortunately, there's a lot of issues that we are facing. We can't finish all of them, but alhamdulillah, step by step, inshallah. Moulana, just to add on, there's just one interesting qissa that you mentioned at the Dawah conference regarding when you were at, I think it was Potchefstroom University, which was one of the things that sparked a lot of interest in pushing the Dawah workshop. If Moulana can reiterate it for us one more time, and just make to help us understand the main aim and goal that we are looking at here, inshallah.
Yeah, so for the benefit of the listeners, what Moana is referring to is this is something that we've been thinking about for a while. Alhamdulillah, see, in South Africa, especially in the South African context, we give credit to many of the makatib that are operating in the various, outlying areas out of the main cities. And in those areas, majority of the time, many of the students are coming from a non-Muslim background. They're coming from non-Muslim homes, and alhamdulillah, this is definitely a ni'mah of Allah. Allah reward all of those that are involved in this and those that are facilitating this. Our only concern was this, that now we've already seen this first batch of students as they're leaving that maktab system. Now I'll give few incidents from my own side that where we actually seen this playing out. As Moulana is saying, that we were in the University of Poch, and we were engaging the students, and a girl came up to me and she says, I want to sing you a song. So I said, no, I don't want to listen to your song. She said, no, I want to sing you my song. And she then begins to sing, there are 99 names of Allah, Asma'ullah al-Husna. And when I actually engaged with her, she told me, no, she's a Christian, and she's a very strong Christian. So I asked her where you learned the song, and she said, no, I went to Maktab. And this is not, this is not a once-off incident. I had another similar incident at the University of Takis, where at the beginning of this year, we were there with a few students and we were giving da'wah. And another girl approached us and she said, I will give out Quran. So I offered her English Quran, and she said, no, I want the Arabic one. I know how to read Arabic. And when I actually engaged her, unfortunately, once she left the maktab environment, she got cut off. So there wasn't any continuity, but she wasn't going to the church or anything, so she was still a Muslim, but there wasn't any strong connection to Islam or any type of Islamic organization or Muslim community, etc. So it's very important. Alhamdulillah, the maktab system is taking place and these students are coming in. But at the same time, we need a very strong dawah component. And those imams in those centers, although we know their hands are tied, they got a lot of duties. But what the duties they do have, they have to add in the element of dawah. Now, there's another center that we visited as well, actually in the center where this dawah intensive course will be taking place at Zirbakom, run by Sheikh Sultan, where when I visited them, at their center, we were busy discussing all the what's happening at the center. And alhamdulillah, the amazing part was they also started the maktab. When I was speaking to Mullah Tariq and others, they were also giving us the history of the center, etc. So he said when we started here, also the people were not very happy with the center, etc. But afterwards they got used to it, and alhamdulillah, the non-Muslims from the community started to send their children for the maktab classes. But because they had a very strong emphasis on dawah, they brought all the parents there, they gave them full dawah, etc. And alhamdulillah, many of them accepted Islam. Now, from those ladies, about 13 families accepted Islam, and every weekend, the ladies on their own said, we want to do rivets classes. So our idea behind this intensive dawah workshop is to basically motivate the imam, motivate the da'is, give them ideas, give them plans. How do we, because you see, we don't have to reinvent. Alhamdulillah, we got these maktabs. We need to get du'at in those places to assist and work together. We need to actually elevate it. We need to take it to the next level. As you were saying, Moulana, we have to find the gaps and we have to elevate. We're not reinventing things that are already there. Alhamdulillah, when we have infrastructure, let's work on what we have to take it to the next level. Let's upscale ourselves. Let's upscale our du'at. Let's upscale our imams. Let us all together collectively go forward and move forward and upscale ourselves, and then we'll be able to take the dawah forward. We'll be able to invite more people to Islam, inshallah.
Inshallah, most definitely, Moulana. And one other point that we're also emphasizing was the collaboration part, because sometimes people feel that no, this organization is doing their own thing, that one will do their own thing. But in the Dawah field, I think the best case is that we just come together and work with each other. Like, for example, the Guardian Dawah Institute is working with Sheikh Sultan Yusuf and the community in Zurbakom. And these are the type of projects that we need to delve into. Now, inshallah, Molana, if you can take us through the program for the weekend, inshallah ta'ala, as to what people will be plus minus, more or less, looking forward to taking part in, inshallah.
Yeah, so Alhamdulillah, the program will start. It's basically Friday to Sunday. So inshallah, we'll start Friday afternoon about after the Asr Salah. We'll get everyone in, and inshallah, the plan behind the program is to be as interactive as possible. We'll have different sessions. So we'll start at the beginning, with the introduction, icebreakers, getting to know one another. Then we'll go through important aspects like the Islamic worldview to understand what is Islam, how do we understand Islam as Muslims, because it's very important, especially as du'at, we have to understand ourselves, what is Islam? Is Islam just like a culture? Is Islam just some practices? But to give ourselves the right understanding, then, obviously the Maghrib Salah will take place. After Maghrib to Isha, we'll have another session. We will speak about the importance of da'wah, the Quranic approach to da'wah. Then we'll have the Isha Salah. And what we're planning to do is we are giving time in between. Like, for example, after the Isha Salah, there'll be supper and everything will come to an end. But that's from the formal program. In between, what we're planning to do is the Imams from the different areas or the Du'at from the different areas to get them together, sit together, plan together, and we'll sit with them, inshallah, with our group. And we'll have discussions on how do we take these areas forward. So there's a lot of those areas. Then the next morning, alhamdulillah, we'll start early again with Qiyam, getting everyone up for Tahajjud, inshallah. After that, followed by our Fajr and our Adhkar, our morning Adhkar and our Tilawat, etc. And then after that, we'll start with the Tafsir, Tafsir of certain of the Dawah episodes in the life of Anbiya alayhi salam. After that, we'll get everyone, into a bit of exercise, followed by breakfast, and then we go into all our sessions. Inshallah, in the sessions, we'll cover like certain important aspects like, our core Islamic knowledge that's required for all the du'at, our understanding of Quran and Sunnah. We'll have some group activities. Then we'll have a discussion about, strategic planning for da'wah. How do you grow your center? How do you, plan your center, your revert support, revert care? How is that done? What should be, what you should focus on? Then we'll have lunch and a bit of rest, and we'll get the imams to, the da'is, inshallah, we'll play some soccer, group games, etc. And again, after Asr, we'll continue step by step dawah. Alhamdulillah, we got Sheikh Sultan to explain in detail. After Maghrib, we'll also do like why Islam is true, what are our proofs to convince someone of the truth of Islam. And again, throughout the day, different discussions, inshallah, will take place. Sunday, a similar program in the morning. We start early in the morning. Our Fajr, after Fajr, we'll have a session as well. Then, some exercise, etc. Breakfast. After breakfast, then we'll have our next sessions. We'll discuss how to answer difficult questions about Islam. If some, as we all know that while giving dawah, people tend to ask us different questions. What are some tools that we can use to answer those questions? Then inshallah we'll open it up, to our du'at that are there, to the imams that are there to share tips and experiences from their own side. They'll all share their own experiences, share some of their own antidotes, and for the benefit of everyone that will be there. Then we'll end off with like open Q&A and panel discussion on the different points that are brought up by the different du'at, different imams, certain questions they have, certain of their own input. And inshallah, we'll close by about Zohar time on Sunday, inshallah. So that's basically an outline of the plan for the weekend, inshallah.
Inshallah ta'ala. And in terms of the applications for those who want to take part, are they closed or is it still open for other brothers, inshallah, to register?
Yeah, so Mola, we do have a registration. We're just trying to, for our logistical purposes, we just require everyone to register in advance so we know exactly who's coming. If anyone wants to register, they are more than welcome just to message me on our number. I'll just give out the number of the Guardian Institute. The number on the poster was still my personal number, but it would be easier if they contact us on the organization number, which is 078 927 5474. If they contacted us on that number, inshallah, we'll be able to then, assist with the registration, and, try to ensure that they're on time, etc.
No, inshallah. Jazakumullah khaira. And just want to go through. So it's 078 927 5474. Hope that's correct, inshallah.
Yes.
So for those who want to get more information about the program, which is starting tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala, please do get in touch with the Guardian Dawah Institute and see how we can take our Dawah practices to a more higher level, inshallah. I think it's about time that it becomes more realistic and more relative to obviously the challenges we are facing. And Alhamdulillah, Moulana, one of the topics that I think you are going to be discussing, obviously, is the issue of shubuhat and irtidad, which we are currently facing as a Muslim community. Because many times people will ask, then what happens then when a person is born in a Muslim family, then ends up leaving the fold, etc. So those type of questions, inshallah, should come or be put on the panel and help people understand them more. Jazakumullah khaira for your time, Moulana. Don't want to keep you longer. And please, inshallah, hope to see more people coming through for the weekend, and so that we can all benefit, inshallah ta'ala.
Barakallah fikum, Jazakallah khair, Moulana, to yourself, your team. And inshallah, we request all the listeners to make dua for us, make dua for the program, and make dua for all the du'at, all the organizations that are doing this work. And as Moulana said, the key is, working together. We're as strong as we're ready to put our minds and, hearts together and move forward, inshallah.
Inshallah, most definitely. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah. So once again, for those who want more information, inshallah, about the program taking place this weekend, you can contact the Guardian Dawah Institute at 078 9275 474, inshallah ta'ala. So, inshallah, so to be part of a revolution, I see it as a revolutionary program and a workshop for all of us, inshallah. So even those who are old workers in the dawah field, it won't hurt to go back to the drawing board and get some new points, or learn a different way or a perspective of giving da'wah, inshallah. So tonight I'll be closing off with a small poem by one of my, can I call him my ustad's daughter, who saw that there's a time that we need to hear a more local voice about what's happening. Obviously, this was mainly for Palestine, the issues in Gaza, but you can take it for all the other issues also, including the atrocities in Sudan. So it's by Hosna Busisiwe Motaung, the daughter of Sheikh Abdul Salam Mutawun, Hafidahullah. So just to hear how we can see things in a different way, inshallah ta'ala, for the sake of Allah. So that's where we will be ending tonight until we meet again next week, Thursday, from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Starting off with the first hour, we look and focus on Quran and Qira'ah. And in the second hour, we focus on Dawah and community development, inshallah. So this is Yunus Kawanga coming to you live from the Sanamina studios, and my studio operator Sadiq. We say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.